Welcome to the deep dive. If you're anywhere near marketing or digital strategy, you've probably felt that the space between an advertiser wanting to reach you and you actually seeing their ad, well, it can feel like a bit of a black box, right? What seems simple, an ad just loading on your screen, is actually the end result of this crazy, fast global auction. Happens in milliseconds, high stakes. So today we're prying open that black box. We are doing a deep dive into the software that's really the brains behind so much of digital advertising, the demand side platform, or DSP. You asked us to cut through the jargon, explain what a DSP is, and also, how it uses automation and machine learning to give advertisers an edge.
Yeah, and our mission today is really to decode that engine, the engine of what's called programmatic buying.
Yeah.
A DSP, at its heart, it's this really sophisticated software. It lets advertisers buy digital ad space efficiently. We're talking display ads, video, audio, even like connected TV ads now, across thousands, literally thousands of sites and apps all at once, all based on their budget and who specifically they're trying to reach.
Okay, let's unpack programmatic advertising first, because that feels foundational here. It sounds a bit, I don't know, clinical. But it's actually been a huge shift. We're basically talking about using computers, automation, to buy and sell ad inventory at high speed. It gets rid of the old way, the slow way of, calling up individual websites and haggling over prices. This is all automated bidding.
Exactly. That automation is absolutely key. So when an advertiser uses a DSP, they're not just picking a website anymore. They're defining an audience. They might set really, really specific criteria. Things like people in a certain city, maybe between 30 and 45, who've recently shown interest in, say, luxury travel, and maybe even visited competitor websites in the last week. Super granular. The DSP takes all that detail and turns it into a bidding strategy it can actually execute. Then it instantly connects to these things called ad exchanges. You can think of ad exchanges like the stock market floor for digital ads. That's where all the trading happens. And the DSP, it acts like your super fast broker in that market.
I like that, a broker. Okay, so the DSP is the broker. Its job is to scan this market, find ad slots attached to users matching your criteria, and crucially decide how much that impression is worth bidding for. And this is where the real-time part comes in, right? RTB.
Yes, real-time bidding, RTB. That's the mechanism.
So when you listening right now, maybe click on an article or just load a web page, your browser basically sends out a little flare instantly to the ad exchange. It says, hey, a user with these characteristics just showed up. The DSP gets that signal. It calculates based on the advertiser's goals. Okay, what's the predicted value of showing an ad to this specific user right now? Are they likely to click to buy something? And then it decides, what tiny fraction of a penny to bid.
And all of this, it happens while the page is still loading for you. Usually within like 100 to 200 milliseconds. It's incredibly fast. You might have hundreds of different DSPs getting that same bid request all at once for that single ad slot. The DSP that bids the highest value, well, technically the highest value, that clears the publisher's floor price, wins the auction, and boom, their ad gets displayed. It's kind of mind-blowing if you stop and think about the scale. Millions of these auctions happening every single second all around the world. It just highlights the sheer technological complexity involved.
Okay, that paints a really clear picture of the buying part, the transaction itself. But you said earlier, the DSP doesn't just stop working once the ad is shown. It's more like a continuous loop.
It's exactly right. It's a feedback loop. The real sophistication of a DSP isn't just in the buying. It's in its ability to immediately see what happened and adjust. So once an ad is served, the platform starts tracking, usually across 3 core metrics or layers. Impressions, did the ad actually load on the page? Clicks, did the user interact with it? And conversions, did the user do the thing the advertiser wanted, like, sign up for a newsletter or buy the product?
Right, so it's collecting all this performance data, but how does that make it better than, say, just getting a report from the website where the ad ran? I mean, sometimes the numbers don't quite match up, right? What advertisers call discrepancy. How does the DSP handle that, and how does it influence the next bid?
That's a really important point, discrepancy, and why the DSP's view is often considered, well, closer to the advertiser's reality. Because the DSP was the one that initiated the bid, won the auction, and placed its own tracking pixel. It generally has the most complete and arguably unbiased view of performance tied directly back to the advertiser's specific campaign goal. It's not just reporting numbers. It's generating data that feeds right back into its own algorithms.
Ah.
This is where that strategic advantage, that moat you mentioned, really comes in. The DSP uses this real-time performance data to constantly refine its predictions. So if its algorithm notices, say, that people viewing the ad on a specific mobile app, maybe in the Midwest between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m., have a conversion rate that's like 5% higher than average, The DSP doesn't wait for an analyst to run a report next week. It sees that pattern emerging now and instantly starts adjusting. It might shift more budget towards those times and locations, maybe bid slightly higher for those specific high-value impressions.
Wow, okay. So it's basically an autonomous optimization engine running constantly. It's not just buying, it's predicting, managing risk, shifting budget based on the probability of success for every single potential ad view. That kind of efficiency.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can see why DSPs are pretty much essential now. Okay, now that we get the power of that optimization loop, let's zoom out a bit. What are the big picture strategic benefits for an advertiser? Why did this tech basically take over almost all digital ad buying? We sort of identified four main advantages.
Yeah, four key things. The first, and maybe the most obvious one, is cost effectiveness. Or maybe, put another way, reducing waste. Think about the old way, buying a big block of ads on a site. You paid whether the right person saw it or not. With RTB through a DSP, you're primarily bidding only when a user who actually matches your target profile shows up. This drastically cuts down on paying for impressions shown to irrelevant audiences. Your return on ad spend, your ROAS, generally goes way up.
Right. It's like paying only for the specific eyeballs you want instead of, I don't know, renting a whole billboard and hoping they drive by. Okay, what's the second big benefit?
The second one is huge, workflow efficiency. Before DSPs really matured, managing digital campaigns was messy. You might have one system for display ads, another dashboard for your mobile app ads, maybe something separate for video ads on platforms like YouTube.
Yeah, total headache. Different logins, different reports.
Exactly. The DSP solves that. It acts as a single, unified command center. You can create campaigns, set budgets, run ads, and see reports across all these different channels: display, video, native ads, and the really big growing areas like connected TV and digital audio all in one place. It lets a single team manage a really complex multi-channel strategy much more effectively.
Makes sense. Centralization.
Okay, number three. Number three is precision. We touched on targeting earlier, but it goes deeper than just demographics like age and location. Good DSPs integrate with tons of third-party data sources. They use sophisticated modeling machine learning really to target people based on complex behavioral signals. Things like showing intent to buy a certain product soon, or maybe going through a specific life event. This lets advertisers get incredibly precise, which usually leads to much better engagement.
And the fourth advantage.
Fourth is multi-channel reach. Because a DSP plugs into pretty much all the major ad exchanges and supply sources globally, you get access to a massive pool of potential ad inventory. You don't have to worry so much about missing out on reaching your audience on that niche blog they love or that new streaming app they just downloaded. The DSP gives you the potential reach to find them wherever they are online.
Okay, that gives a really solid picture of the DSP's role from the buyer's perspective. The advertiser, the one spending money. But you mentioned earlier, advertising is a two-sided market. So the obvious next question is, if the DSP is the fancy broker working for the buyer, who's on the other side? Who represents the seller, the website, or the app that has the ad space?
Yes. You absolutely cannot talk about DSPs without talking about their counterpart. The other essential piece of the puzzle is the supply-side platform, or SSP. They are distinct platforms, different software, but they're designed to work together perfectly. Programmatic advertising simply doesn't function without both a DSP and an SSP interacting. So just to make the rules crystal clear, the demand-side platform, DSP, that's our focus today, is the tool used by advertisers to buy the ad inventory. It's trying to get the best placements at the best price to meet the advertiser's goals. The supply-side platform, SSP, on the other hand, is the tool used by the publishers, so the website owners, the app developers, the people creating the content and selling the ad space. The SSP helps them sell their inventory effectively and, ideally, maximize their revenue.
Got it. So the SSP is like the publisher's agent. It manages their ad space, decides what the minimum acceptable price is, the floor price, and tries to get the highest bids possible for each ad slot to make the publisher the most money.
Exactly right. The SSP is working for the seller, trying to maximize yield. The DSP is working for the buyer, trying to maximize return on investment. And where do they meet?
In the middle, at the ad exchange.
Precisely. The ad exchange is that neutral marketplace. When you visit a page, the publisher's SSP offers the available ad slot to the exchange. The exchange sends out the bid request. The DSPs representing various advertisers analyze it and send back their bids. The exchange picks the winner based on the highest bid that meets the SSP's rules. The transaction happens, and the winning DSP gets to serve its ad. It's this constant, incredibly fast technological handshake between the two sides.
A seamless handshake happening millions of times a second.
Yeah. So the core takeaway for you, our listener, really is this. DSPs aren't just handy tools, it's fundamental. They are the strategic engine of modern programmatic advertising. They use sophisticated tech, AI, machine learning, to let advertisers run and optimize campaigns across basically every digital channel you can think of. They bring precision, efficiency, better cost effectiveness, and that crucial integration with SSPs through the ad exchange makes the whole digital ad market fluid and functional.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought for you to chew on. The next time you see an ad online, especially one that feels weirdly relevant to something you were just thinking about, just take a second to appreciate the invisible, high-speed technological battle that likely took place in the milliseconds before that ad loaded. The complex algorithms, the vast amounts of data crunch, the instantaneous bidding war, all orchestrated, in large part by a DSP deciding you were the right person at the right moment for that specific ad. That complex dance between the DSP and SSP is really the hidden power driving so much of the modern web experience.